All right, what about their travel wolves? So in today's video, we're going to talk about why we're going to talk about why Lena the Plug picked a black porn star dude. In this case, Jason Love. Why she picked a black porn star dude. Let's go. So, Adam 22, in my opinion, doesn't control African American men, our perspectives, or influences us in our dating dichotomy. Okay? In my personal opinion, African American men, what they refer to us as, we're not in control of social dating, social romance, social relationships, any of those things. We're not in control of that due to global white supremacy. And to understand that, you got to read Neely Fuller. I'll put the link in the description below to that, to Neely Fuller's video. His channel is called On the Shoulders of Giants. Check it out. Because I'm still fascinated how every African American man in America has not read Neely Fuller. It should be the first book before the King James Bible, okay? So before KVJ, before KJB, you should be reading Neely Fuller. Now, for some reason, they want to use Adam 22, this gooky-looking white dude, to turn African American men into cuckolds, okay? They want to use him to turn us into cuckolds. And I can only think that by doing that, the powers that be, the people behind the curtain, they are very desperate. Their agenda is not moving fast enough. It's actually starting to recede. They've had to expose themselves so much that cracks in the facade are forming. They're not able to prop it up as much as they want. If they do it anymore, if they give them any more power, they may take over. You know what I'm saying? So they're desperate. This is definitely a level of desperation. But I can tell you as an African American man, what you refer to me as, we don't agree on much as African American men, but we do agree on one thing, collectively. We would never submit to cuckoldry. We would never submit to cuckoldry. We may not have a solution on how to solve our own internal, how to solve the civil dating war that permeates between, as they're referred to, African American men and African American women. But we would never submit to cuckoldry. Okay? It is never, ever going to happen. So, you can just get to the final solution with that. You can just get to the final solution. Because I'm under the belief that there's a reason why you got to keep us alive, but you're allowed to do some things in play. Because if you could eliminate us, you would. So you're trying to make sure that we don't breed anymore. We don't mate anymore. You already got that part done. You got the mating part done. You want to make sure that we don't breed anymore. You figured you got to keep us happy, but we don't have to have our own women. We don't have to have sanctimony. We don't have to have explicit consummation with our wives. And if you understand history, if you watch in the movie Braveheart, they started this thing called prima nocta. This is how far back this goes. As prima nocta was the lord of the land would be granted the first right of sleeping with your wife. So if you were living on a landlord's property when you got married, and these landlords owned thousands of acres, so you couldn't go far, everywhere, every piece of land there was theirs. If you got married, your wife had to sleep with him the first night. And this was going on for centuries, okay? Before they decided to rescind it for, of course, being sinful in the eyes of the church, okay? So if the church finds it sinful, it cannot be acceptable underneath their dichotomy. But for some reason, they think I'm going to follow Adam 22. They think we going to follow this gooky dude and, let someone, if I find a wife, I'm going to let someone else. I'm going to I can't even say it, but I'm going to let her do that. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to acknowledge that it's okay for her to sleep with another man and be my wife. We're not talking about your girlfriend or your woman or anything like that. Now we're talking about someone that you have made a spiritual commitment to, you taking an oath to, you taking a vow to, you know what I'm saying? You have basically asked the divine to let you have a union, which the purpose of that is to pass on your assets and have an heir, have children with this person. Okay, so they're definitely using him for this purpose, but it's gonna fail. And I was just watching. I'm doing this video because I was just watching him on Vlad TV real quick. I saw some of the video and I couldn't really look at it because it made me really want to cringe. I wanted to just cringe up so bad. That's why I stopped watching it, because it just was disgusting talking about this. Like, as a person, well, I mean, you know, we're men and we're in our manhood. So by definition of that, that's a huge no-no. It's a huge taboo. It's just a huge, it's one of those things that you lost your manhood. He lost his manhood by willingly knowing he was going to do this. Okay? He lost his manhood. And I'm not going to go into the politics of whether they even have manhood, but he lost whatever they call it. But we're not going to lose ours, you know, and I think every African-American man is the same way. That's going too far. That's going way too far, sharing other wives. Now, you know, and I got to admit, I went to a swing party one time. Long story. And the way these Caucasian dudes act, the way they throw their wives around at each other, it is crazy. But no matter how much they are always seem to be like excited by it, one person always thinks it goes too far when it turns into something really bad. And I've seen that happen. So you got to understand, this is their thing, man. They have these things called key parties. That's another thing you can look up. This is their thing, sharing the wives, you know. And again, this is what I mean by the women are very clever, because they make you think it's your idea, but it's really their idea. It's really their desire. And this is why I'm saying, like, why did she choose an African American man? She chose an African American man because that's who she likes. That's who she rolls with. She really likes African American men. She didn't end up with one. Why? Because of global white supremacy. She didn't want to fuck up her money in the porn game. She didn't want to fuck up her money with other individuals who may, you know, be benevolent to her, be generous with her by choosing an African American man over them. Even though she did this, my whole thing is, why didn't she end up with Jason Love? Jason Love is definitely the far superior attribute of an African American man compared to this guy, right? I noticed they're the same height. He's probably a little bit taller. They're both fit. They both look, actually, when I think about it, he looks like the black version of Adam 22, if you think about it. But pause. But the thing about it is that, you know, why didn't she break up her relationship with Adam 22 and just walk off to the sunset with Jason Love? Just become his new bottom, or maybe his part side. I don't know what those terms are, but whatever. Why ain't she just join his roster? Why wasn't she so sexually? If sexual satisfaction was her desire, you can't convince me that she's going to be quenched one time. So she goes back to what? Spending the rest of her life with mediocrity? Is that what she does now? She goes back to spending the rest of her life? That just enhances her desires. So the reason why she picked the African American man, because she knows there'd be no expectation for her to end up with him. I mean, I would expect her to end up with him, but she knows that society wouldn't expect her to end up with him. They wouldn't support it. They won't demand it of her. They won't expect it. Okay? Remember, she didn't pick an Asian dude who could be a porn star. She didn't pick a Caucasian dude who could be a porn star. She picked an African-American man primarily because he's an African-American man. She calls herself Lena the Plug. We all know game. I ain't gonna self-snitch on anyone or myself. She calls herself Lena, aka the Plug. Okay, so the point is, this was a shot at us, also a subliminal shot, because really, in the rules of G-Code, she really Jason Love's bitch. Really, you know what I'm saying? She came to him. She chose him. Now maybe you know, that's not, he don't want her, whatever the case may be. That's respect. That's his prerogative. But she's his, and she's not with Adam 22 no more. You know? So the thing about it is that, lost my thought here. But anyway, getting back to the circle. The thing about it is that Adam 22 wants to make us cuckolds. And if you don't know what a cuckold is, I suggest you look it up. It's not a good thing. And it's not going to work on us. They've really gone too far. I really starting to see the future. And I start to see premonitions about where society is going to end up. And I think that pushing free African American men into sharing of their wives, if we're fortunate enough to even get a wife, is not going to end well. Trying to make it a cool, in thing to do, because that's basically what he's on Vlad TV doing. He's on Vlad TV talking about it's a cool, in thing to do among all the other stuff, right? So among all the alphabet stuff, among all the extra stuff, the plus being a cuckold is a cool, in thing to do. You should try it. You should let your wife go out there and know she's with a man, and then she comes back to you and tells you all the details. Nah, bro, nobody getting down like that. Nobody getting down like that in this society. The one thing we can control is our self-respect. So hey, I'm all for that. If she want to leave you, let her leave you. But you know, just she knows if she does sleep with somebody else, there's no coming back to me. You get your stuff and you go be with him. I'm not gonna do it. And that's the way we rock. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware of this. I'm trying to turn this into cuckolds, and they definitely testing the waters. They definitely trying to test the waters and see how it's gonna be received. You know, because you know, we as African American men, we already gotten down dirty and a bunch of stuff I can't even believe, myself included, is participating in. And I would say by that, you know, dealing with chicks in the lifestyle as a routine, traveling the countries, you know, and not exploring yourself intellectually and spiritually, but instead becoming corrupted by a lifestyle. And it's really messed up, because if you think about it, you can read Deuteronomy chapter 13. I'll put the link below. Deuteronomy chapter 13, I think, or is it chapter 31? I always get them confused, but I think it's chapter 13, Deuteronomy chapter 13. In there you'll see it say about the parts of the curse. It says that you would take a wife, but another man would bed her. You know, so you take a wife, but another man would bed her. And I can almost assure you that the outcome the man behind the curtain expects is not going to be the outcome the man behind the curtain receives. Because in Braveheart, which is a true story, they went to war not because of their they went to war not because of their Scottish honor. They didn't care about that. They were willing to be supplicated. They were willing to supplicate or be supplicated. They were willing to be oppressed. They were willing to toe the line But when it came to fucking with their women, they were like, enough's enough. Remember, they killed his wife because she wouldn't sleep with the Lord. They took the other dude's wife to go sleep with the Lord. And that's the only time they were going to fight. So I give you fair warning that African American men, as you refer to us, they're going to fight to keep the one thing left that they own. That's the biological imperative to reproduce. That's the protection of their women. That's the protection of their manhood. They're going to fight. And they're going to fight to the end. You know, you can't scare people forever with this concept of winning and losing. There's no such thing. Anybody who's been to war or even had a street fight knows there's no such thing as winning and losing. But there is a such thing as being a coward and doing nothing at all. That's totally different. Taking no action. There is a such thing as taking no action, but you don't win and you don't lose because no one is dominant. No one can be the person today that prevails may be defeated tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So just they need to be aware of that. They've gone too far, and I wanted to make this video to say that. They've really gone too far. But I don't know why maybe behind the scenes she already left them. I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but I would say I don't know how she ain't leave him, because she looked like she was enjoying herself. Even from the pictures, you can see there's a difference in the way she's looking in the photo and the way she's looking. That's why I use this photo. You can see there's a difference in the way that she's looking at him, the way she's looking at Adam 22 versus the way she's looking after getting smashed or before by Jason Love. Now, be honest with you, she's past her prime, right? She hit the wall a long time ago. And she's really trying to milk whatever she got left. You know what I'm saying? You can see a lot of makeup on her face. She's really trying to milk whatever she got left out of her. No pun intended. But if we listen to all this philosophy about women, the alpha stuff, the women losing respect for you stuff, the women looking up to you, wanting to feel safe and protected, right? This breaks all the rules. So thus, logically, if this is allowed and it really breaks all those rules, then there's really nothing that you can do to win the desire of a woman. Okay? Because Jason Love is a far better looking dude, in my opinion, than this guy. But yet she went back to this guy. So there goes the alpha cuck thing out the window, right? And this is where we get down to global white supremacy. Because by the laws of global white supremacy, okay, this may be permissible, it may be overlooked, but by the laws of global white supremacy, she has to go back to the white guy. She has to. She has no choice in the matter. We can't even take her from the white guy because, you know, we don't control anything. So even if you wanted to take her, you can't. Even if she wanted to be with you, you can't. I just saw a video, give you a perfect example. I'll put a link to it. I just saw a video a little while ago. A bunch of cops just pled guilty to torturing 2 black men because someone told them a white woman was living in the house. So these police officers ran up in their spot, pretending like they was looking for drugs, handcuffed them, tortured them for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. And I don't even know what that point of that was. Like they didn't have a whole plan put together. They went in there half cocked. They didn't have a whole plan together. And now they're pleading guilty to all kinds of crimes. And they got convicted, you know, of all kinds of crimes. So that's what I'm saying. They pled guilty because they know global white supremacy protects them. They had to do their duty as race soldiers. And the system will protect them. You see what I'm saying? They look at it as their duty. So that's why we don't control anything at all. Even our aspects of dating. And traveling to other countries, looking for women is another example of that. And you're in somebody else's backyard and you think you're just gonna steal their women. Nah, these women in other countries are doing the same thing with you that she did with Jason Love. They're getting their desirabilities fulfilled and they're running back to this guy who's a cuck. And if you look at all the philosophy about dealing with women and the logic behind dealing with women, you got to ask yourself, if women love a cuck if women love a cuck, if women can respect the cuck, if women can feel protected by a cuck, then all that is fake. All that's bullshit. Because what you say women want is totally different, but they're not acting on that, you know. And I'll do a video about that. I'm gonna do 2 videos coming up about why women are obsessed with a man's looks, when did that start, and why, and what women really want. I'm gonna tell you exactly why women are obsessed with only a man's looks. I'm gonna tell you what women really want, and I'm going to tell you what you can do about it, okay? And that's it. I'm gonna do those 3 videos, and I might do one more video. It just slipped my mind though. It was about, oh yeah, I might do one more video about, do women value a man's intelligence? Even though that's redundant because we already know the answer to that. But I just thought I'd talk about that too. Do women value an intelligent man? Do women find any use for an intelligent man? But I'm going to explain to you why they don't also. All right? So look out for those videos. I hope you enjoy my commentary. I hope I didn't make it too long. I'm out. Talk to you guys later. Peace.